Hey guys, I'm back. Maybe. We'll see. I got all excited to do all these videos, and to just kind of, my plan, Sarah's plan, was to do like short, unedited videos just from my car when I had a couple minutes to talk to you guys about whatever was coming to me or whatever was coming up, like spiritually or shamanic related. And then, I like got destroyed by life, and I just didn't have anything to give to anybody. Like, I had nothing to give to myself, like nobody. Like, I could barely manage like my children and family, and like let alone and the clients, and like let alone just giving in this way. I just got burned out, and I like couldn't even, there was no way I could even think of like an idea. And I was just going through a lot personally. Like, my husband switched to working full-time, and his job was like 60 hours a week, and it was like sudden, very like, he got a job and then boom, was 60 hours a week gone. And then I was like full-time parent, and I have a very demanding 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and my older children, and just household managing, and then the gardening, and then everything that was happening in our town. We had an explosion, like a mass casualty explosion. We had several drive-bys, and several murders, and those have continued, and it's just been like a lot to deal with. And then let alone there was like been several deaths in the family, or like relatives getting like very sick. It's been a lot for me to manage, like my own, what's been coming up for me, let alone to think of like, okay, what am I going to talk to people about shamanism about? And like, to be honest with you, I've gotten to many points where I'm like, I don't even want it to teach people about this. Like, this doesn't sound appealing. You know, like, it doesn't, like, what part of this journey of like being able to see like all the darkness that's here is appeals to people. You know, like, I don't even really want, got to this point where I was like, do I even really, is it ethical for me to lead people down this path and talk to you guys about this path when like, it's really, you know, it's difficult. And I know that not everybody who watches this channel is like meant to practice shamanism, but there are a lot of you who are, or who like are interested in it or intrigued in it, or want to kind of like implement some of these practices like into your day-to-day life. And so there's kind of this wide range of people who are here within this niche, just like people who are definitely like being called to shamanism and to practice it. And for those of you who are, like, you probably are in a position where like there's something deep within your soul where it's like there's not really a choice, it's like pulling you towards it. That was what happened to me. And for those of you who are just like casually interested, well, it's rough being able to see things and reality and darkness that exists here on Earth, and like still participate in the matrix and still see it all. It's like such a difficult contrast to be able to see all of this and then like still somehow, you know, make a life here on Earth. That is a challenge, and I know that that's a challenge for a lot of shamanic healers and just people who can see these things and can see the darkness that's here, and then trying to like make something of it and like have a positive experience on Earth. And the truth is that Earth is just really challenging right now. And if you're in the moon circle, the spirit guides have mentioned this multiple times, where they're like, Earth is really hard, like it's very challenging to be a human right now. And that's just like the nature of it. That's just the reality of it. And I know sometimes with like, sorry, I got a notification there. I share on social media some of the stuff that like has been coming up for me, or some of the stuff that's been going on, and people are like, why don't you know, your life is terrible, basically. Like, you've been going through so much, like everything is really terrible for you, and you know, you guys are really in this bad spot. And just like, oh, I don't know if it's like sympathy or judgment or what, but that in itself is difficult to sit with, because it's like, yeah, I mean, I realize that like I live in this town where it's like a portal to darkness or something, And it wasn't like that when I moved here. And like, there seems to be clearly some connection to why I'm here and that this is all going on. And I don't want to be in it, but like, here I am, I'm in it. And like, what do you do when like you're in a situation and you're like, it's so uncomfortable to be in that situation, but like, you know, there's a divine intelligence that puts us in situations that are uncomfortable, and having to be okay with what is in our current reality, right? So that's kind of been where I've been at is navigating that, and that's these situations and things that have been coming up. I do want to talk about like and put out other videos because there are things I want to discuss, things that have happened recently and things that I've just been like kind of like quiet theories that I've been developing that I have not shared because, you know, sometimes they sound totally insane. But I've talked privately with them, with other healers and other shamanic friends, and they're like, you really need to talk about this. You need to make a blog, you need to make a video. And like, I'm just not at a point now where I can write a blog because, you know, at the end of the day, I have like 2 hours to myself probably until my toddler wakes up and like wants to come to the bed. And then I have like, I don't have like any time to myself really. Maybe a couple hours on Sunday, which is when I'm doing this, that I can leave the house. And then during the week, it's a very narrow window. And during that time, I'm like, don't really have a lot of brain cells left in order to formulate a concept for a video. Because I do have the moon circle and I do have like a, you know, a handful of clients that I'm still working with, and then I have to do that in that time. So, I am going to try and come back, and make some videos because there are things that I want to discuss and I don't have the bandwidth to do a blog. And I know that only like 50 people watch these videos. But we can, say a little prayer that those who are meant to watch these videos find them. I'm not going to edit them. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to record them on my phone and then upload them because that's really the only thing that I have time to do. Like maybe I'm in a different season of my life, I'll have more time for editing and like fancy stuff like that. But at this time, with a very clingy 3-year-old and like 2 other older kids and my husband working, I don't have any time to myself really to even work. So I just want to give a little update. And I thought I was going to say something more insightful during this video, but that didn't happen. And I will in other videos because I want to talk about, I don't know, some entity stuff and some darkness stuff. And we'll see what else comes up because I've kind of gotten past the point of I want to teach you what a soul retrieval is, or I want to teach you what like some of these basic things are of like how energy works, because it's like stuff that's coming up in the world right now is like beyond that. And some of the stuff that people are dealing with like on a spiritual level is a lot darker than what is a chakra, or you know, what is the root chakra, or like how to open your crown chakra, or stuff that I used to do like 10 years ago. Like it's like we've moved beyond like the fun stuff. And now we're at this point where like there's some serious darkness that's coming up and is like confronting people and is targeting people and is kind of showing itself and coming at people. And that's like, that's beyond the fluffy stuff that, you know, I could use to get high Google search results, right? Because there's just a lot of darkness that's going on in the world and that's coming up for people and showing itself to people and communicating with people and trying to manipulate people. And we need to talk about it, I think, because I think more people are dealing with it than they're talking about it, and we need to talk about it to give it less power. So that's all for right now. Here's my rambling video of where I've been getting wrecked by life all summer. And I have no makeup on. I'm in a Walmart parking lot. So welcome to my shamanic life. And I'll see you in another video when I get 10 minutes to myself and can formulate some thoughts on some of the things that we need to discuss. All right, bye guys.